guys for hopping on, and thank you for bearing with me through my technical difficulties. I am super pumped about this call. Like I said, I've never done something like this before, and usually that would cause me a lot of anxiety, but I am trying to channel it to, instead of I'm anxious, I'm excited. So I'm glad you guys are here. And put in the chat box if you have any questions. You guys know I'm an open book, so I can go into detail about more things. But with that being said, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, shoot. Danielle, you have to give me permission to share it. Got it. Thank you so much. Okay, so WTF is coaching. I feel like this gets made into this craziness, and it isn't. It's really simple, and I'm going to go through it with you guys. So first things first, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my journey. So most of you guys know me and have known me for a while now, but I still want to kind of go through it. So I started my journey not even as a coach. I started it when I was 19 years old, and I had always struggled with my mental health. Depression and anxiety had been something that controlled me for as long as I could remember, and I had tried everything. I had been in therapy for years. I tried every antidepressant, every anti-anxiety. I tried mindfulness and yoga and meditation and all these things, and nothing clicked for me. Nothing, like, I don't know, I just didn't want it to work, I guess. So I had been in this constant downward spiral, and actually a family member ended up killing himself. And I remember getting the call from my mom and having to come home for 2 weeks mid-semester. And my family was a mess. Like, he left havoc. It was just like his kids, and it was just, there was so much going on. And I remember my family feeling so many different emotions. They were scared, and they were sad, and they were just like, there was even anger, because when someone takes their own life, there's so many different emotions and lots of different stages of grief. So I remember all of them experiencing all these emotions, but I just felt scared. I didn't feel sad. I didn't feel angry. I just felt so scared, because I had been in the same place as my uncle. I had felt those same thoughts. I had tried the same things, but he was successful. And I saw how that affected my mom, most importantly. And my mom, she's just the strongest person I know. And I said, okay, Faith, you need to get your shit together. Like, I don't know what the hell we're going to do to get our shit together, but we need to do something, because this downward spiral is not working. So actually on the way home from being home for 2 weeks, I went back down to college. And on the way home, I don't know if you guys believe in a higher power or the universe or whatever it is, but I truthfully believe things happen for a reason. And on my way home, I got a message from this girl who'd been nagging me on Instagram. I had probably gotten 15 plus messages from her. I'd ignored her every time. I would always give her all these excuses. I'd be like, I'm too busy. I don't want to do these at home workouts, because she ran these fit clubs online. And I was like, no, I like going to the gym. I have my own thing figured out. I don't need any of that garbage. Okay. I thought it was just for stay-at-home moms. Like, to be honest, I was like, that's not me. Okay. So I got probably the 15th message from her. And I remember pulling over at a gas station and thinking to myself, I have no idea where to go next. I don't know what to do. I tried therapy. Like I said, I tried these antidepressants. I had done everything. I just had nowhere to turn to. And I was like, you know what? I know that working out and doing these burpees isn't going to cure my depression. It's not. But I thought taking care of my physical health was a really good place to start in taking care of me all around, my mental and physical health. So I signed up in that gas station parking lot for this damn $160 challenge pack so I could have the workouts and the shakes. I was a full-time student at the time. I was working 2 jobs, and I just felt like I was drowning. I have no other word to describe it. I just felt like I was gasping for air, trying to hold on to anything. And this was something that I could pour into and kind of concentrate on. I'm sure you guys have all gone through something where you felt like you needed an outlet, and this was my outlet. So now, if you know me, I'm a completely different person. I'm very fulfilled. I'm a very confident person, and I'm happy. I can honestly say that. And like I said, workouts did not cure my depression, but they were a really good place to start in taking care of me. So I live a life aligned with me, and if you know me, that is like my biggest That's my mantra. I want my life to be aligned with me and the things that bring me passion and make me excited, and just, I don't want to be living on anyone else's terms. So long story short, this girl over here, I don't know if you can see her on the screen, this girl in the middle, she was the one who messaged me so many times, and she didn't give up on me. I finally joined with her, and I just fell in love with the community side of it. All those little stay-at-home moms, I became their one college student, and it was so fun just because I had people that wanted to be better. They weren't just working for abs, like they just wanted to be better people in general. And like I said, a lot of them were moms. So they're like, I want to bring my best self into the world. And you know what? I was like, okay, I don't have kids to bring my best self to, but I still deserve to be bringing my best self into the world. So I felt like this community, they just saved me. Like I had something to pour into. So with that being said, moving on, who makes a good coach and who doesn't? I think this is really important. And if you look at these, they're all really negative statements, but they're what I said to myself when I was starting out. So I joined this online fit club and I was seeing really good results physically, but also mentally. I'd started like journaling and I'd started consistently going to therapy again and all these different things. But I still was really negative. I was like, I could never help people do that. There was no way that I could take that step forward. So I said all of these things to myself because my coach kept saying, she's like, Faith, you have such a powerful story. Why don't you share it? And I was like, no, people aren't inspired by me. I'm still overweight. I still look at my body in disgust. How the heck am I supposed to help other people? And you guys, I'm going to go like through each point at a time because I think it's really, really important because people have so many thoughts holding them back and they don't realize that a lot of these top coaches had those same thoughts. They just didn't let them stop them. They just went through it. So my first point is, but I'm overweight and hate my body. Girl, I used to sit in front of the mirror and pick out my flaws. And I think I always thought that my body held me back as a coach. I was like, you know what? I don't have those chiseled abs. I don't have that six pack. I don't have anything toned. Nothing is about me is toned. So I was like, what? How are people going to be inspired by me? And I realized that that's why so many people were connecting with me. They saw their journey in me. They don't connect with those chiseled abs and the six pack because that's not them. They've never been there. But they see the girl whose thighs touch and their thighs jiggle. And like when I'm doing burpees, like my ass literally claps. Like I'm not kidding. And people relate to that. They're like, me too. I get that. So my body, what I thought was holding me back, is the reason so many people connected with me. And I'm in the trenches with my clients. Like they know that, like we're in this journey together. And I think that really makes a special mentality. It's not like I'm your coach, you do this, you eat this. Because if I was like that, I'd be like, bitch, bye. Like I don't need any of that negativity. But instead they're like, okay, we're in this together. It's like we're a team. So my next point was, I'm from a really small town and I'm not popular. I thought sorority girls were the people that made this work. My graduating class was 48 people, okay? 48 people. I'm from a really small town. And my biggest thing about this is you're not going to be, the people who join you aren't going to be the people from your small town. I know a lot of people, you get those messages from your high school friends that are like, hey, buy my stuff. Hey, I'm having this party, like all this stuff. That's not what this is. I've had in the last few years, I mean, maybe less than 5 people join me from my town, but they reached out to me. Like they were my friend. They're like, hey, I see you posting on Instagram. Hey, I see you doing this. What are you doing? So please don't feel like you're going to have to be annoying your family and friends. Like this isn't something, you're going to grow your brand online. And that's what I'm super passionate about. And if that seems overwhelming to you, that's okay. Because it was really overwhelming to me too at first. So my next point, that a reason why I shouldn't be a coach, was I'm boring and I don't know what to post. You guys, I built a brand on my love for margaritas and my dog. Truthfully, that's what my brand is on. I just shared my life. Even when I was in school, I'd share talking about school and fitting my homework in and fitting my coaching in. Because people related to that. They're like, you know what? I don't have time to take care of myself either. I'm running from class to class. I'm trying to do these things. And they connected with that. So people will connect with you no matter what your life is like. I remember telling stories about my crazy neighbor, and people would literally message me, be like, hey, what did Maggie do today? And to me, I was like, I live such a boring life, but they were all in on it because it was those normal people just doing normal things. They trust that. So I don't want to sell things. This, I would say up and down. I was like, Marissa, I believe in the product. I love the workouts. They've changed my life. But you know what? I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to be on my phone all the time. And here's the thing. No matter what job you have, you're going to be selling something. I just, to be honest. And if anything, it's going to be selling yourself, people to believe in you, people to trust you. And that's my biggest thing is people don't sign up for my products that I offer. They don't. They sign up for me. They sign up to be encouraged by me. They sign up for my support, and they sign up to have like an inside loop into my ear so they can talk to me. That's the reason people join me. There's a million Beachbody coaches. They could be all up in that, but instead they're with me. And I think that's really important. If you honestly have had your life changed by this, it doesn't feel like selling, because I'm like, this is what's helped me and this is why. That's it. Take it or leave it. So I don't have the time. This one speaks for itself. I actually put a quote at the bottom about this. If you don't sacrifice now for what you want will be the sacrifice. I have seen people that have 3 kids, they're a single mom, they're running from their job to daycare to all these different things, and they still make it work because it's a priority to them. And truthfully, I'm going to talk about this a little bit. When I was in school, I would spend 1 hour to 2 hours a day working my business. That was it. You guys, it wasn't like I was devoting 8 hours a day, and it was little chunks of time. It was like, okay, I have a 30-minute break between my next class. I'm going to sit down and get into my DMs. I have 10 minutes before I start work. I'm going to check in with my clients really quick. You can find the time. Wait, is this a pyramid scheme? I have had a lot of people say this to me, and I just kind of laugh when it happens and say, what do you think a pyramid scheme is? And a lot of people are like, well, it's people getting their friends to join and everyone loses money. Okay, well, that's obviously not what this is, because there's a lot of really successful coaches. Beachbody is a network marketing company, which basically means their advertising is word of mouth. Think of it this way. If you go to your favorite pizza place, mine is Domino's. You guys know me. I love Domino's. I talk about Domino's all the time. I tell my friends, you got to get the white sauce. The white sauce is what makes it so good. Does Domino's give me money for talking about them? Heck no, they don't give a hell. Heck, oh, I almost said the F word. I'm trying to be a little more good on this recording. They don't give an F if I'm talking about them or not. They don't. But what it is when you get your friends, you're like, hey, this workout program is really working for me. These people see you doing it online, you get a little kickback for that. Same with, like, I know a ton of influencers are doing, like, I'm trying to think of some popular ones, Verb energy bars. There was like glasses you could get, I buy direct. They give you your code, they get a percentage of that back.
Vitamins, Tula, vitamins, skincare, clothes.
Everything. They get a kickback from saying, hey, you should try this. This is why it's helped me. So this is not a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal. Do some research into network marketing and MLMs. I highly encourage it. I looked into it because I had a lot of people, I mean, if you look through my posts, I always talk about this. I've just had a lot of friends that have lost money doing network marketing or things like that. I think it's really interesting that we talk about the failures in network marketing, but we don't talk about those people that have a 4-year degree, are $50,000 in debt, and can't find a job. Let's also look at the success rate. Anyone and their mother can be a coach, can sell skincare, can sell all these things. They aren't people that are trained to do it, or they just want the discount. So that's what I kind of look at when I see the success rate of things like that. That's all I have to say. I could talk my ear off about that. Moving on. What does a coach do, actually? So you're like, okay, I get it, girlfriend. You had a lot of hesitations coming in. What does a coach do? Number 1, work on becoming your best version of you. Now, if you know me by now, that's not just losing weight. That's not toning up. That's not just the physical side. That's the mental side as well. That means you're reading daily. You're working on your anxiety. You're working on your self-love. You're constantly pouring into yourself. And this is my biggest reason I love my job, is because if I worked at a corporate office, do you think they'd give a fuck if I was working on me? No, they'd say, hey, come work 8 to 5, clock in, clock out, give us everything that you can during that hour, those 8 hours, and that's it. They don't care about what you do afterward. But my number 1 mission right now is taking care of me. And I think that's really, really cool. Number 2, show others it's possible. I think that's half the battle, is just showing up consistently and saying, hey, this is where I came from. You can get through this too. And it doesn't have to be huge things. It doesn't have to be struggling with depression or things like that, but something as simple as making yourself a priority. People struggle with that. And just to show, hey, this is how I find the time. Caitlin does a really good job about this. She works a full-time job, she does coaching, and she shares, this is how I fit it in and take care of me and work on a better relationships and things like that. And then lastly, help them do the same. All I do as a coach is believe in my clients. That's it. I just say, hey, just a reminder, you have these really big goals, mental and physical. I'm not going to give up on them, and you shouldn't either. That's all I do. And I think that people really overcomplicate coaching, but all it is just working on yourself and proving to others it's possible to work on yourself. So money, this is the slide I'm really, really nervous for. I've never shared something like this on a live call. So let's dive in. This is my income progression. I did it from November 2016, that's the month I signed up, to December 2018. I ended it in 2018 because honestly, the money I make now isn't realistic for people. They look at it and they're like, that's not real. Those people, it's just not, people just don't understand that type of thing. So what I like to show is in December 2016, I made $35 a week. Is that enough to pay for a car? Hell no, but it helped me with my electric bill. In December 2017, I was making $114 a week, okay? Was that enough to pay for a car? Still no, but I was able to chunk away on my tuition and my books for that semester. So you can see that my income has steadily increased for the last, what's 2020 now, the last 4 years. And I think that's something that's really cool because I'm in control of that. If I want to put more work hours in, if I want to do something like that, it's not like I have a set salary. I've talked about this to my team a lot. There's pros and cons of working a salary job or an hourly job. And for someone that's a real type A, like overachiever, a salary job where I make, let's say I make $10 an hour, I'm making the same amount of money as that guy slacking off, that doesn't put in the work, that doesn't do anything, that takes 5 smoke breaks, okay? I'm making the same amount of money. I'm not getting any extra bonuses. I'm not doing anything like that. But when I'm working for myself, any extra work I do, that goes directly to my income. Does that make sense? So there's pros and cons of it, but honestly, as a type A overachiever, I'm all about it. One thing I wanted to say about these, so the first 3 years of my business, the first 3, as I'm holding up 4 fingers, I was a full-time student. I was working 2 jobs. Eventually, I replaced my income from the other job and was able to cut my hours in half at my job. I was working in my major of study, so I had to keep doing that. But I basically quit 1.5 jobs because I replaced my income with coaching. And then what was my other point here? Oh, and like I said earlier, I was working the business in 1 to 2 hours a day. I would do my business for probably about an hour cut up during the day, and then I would have an hour training at night, whether that was with my team or I would YouTube. I think that what makes a really good coach is people that go out and look for the resources themselves. They're like, hey, I know that I really struggle as a leader, so I'm going to watch some leadership trainings, or I'm going to read these books about being a leader. So I put at the bottom, well, first let me say, because the lawyers will come after me if I post my income and they're like, whatever. But it says Team Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income. It is based solely on the coach's hard work and determination. And I think that's really important because a lot of people come into this and they're like, wow, Faith, 2 years in the business, was making $1,200 a week. Bish, I'm going to get rich quick. And you don't see the hours and the dedication and the late nights and the early mornings that I spent putting into this business. And they just want that automatic feedback. And it's not going to happen. It's something that grows over time. And that's what I think is really cool about this is if you put in the time and the consistency, your income will grow. So lastly, I put at the bottom, income is not and never has been a driving factor in my business. I didn't join, if you remember my story for the beginning, I didn't join for extra money. I didn't join to replace my full-time income. I joined because I needed something for me. I needed something to pour my heart into and to really put myself as a priority. And I put, when you work on the rest falls into place. And I think that applies to your health and fitness journey, that applies to your relationships, that applies to the financial side, that applies to everything. When you make your mental health a priority, all of it shifts into gear. So that's what I have to say about money. Moving on. Oh, one more thing I just want to say. One thing I will say that was different about me than most coaches coming into this is once I realized that this is something that I was going to take seriously, I knew that I would have to sacrifice for my future self. I didn't know what life after college would look like. I didn't know I'd be traveling around in an RV. That wasn't even a thought in my mind yet, but I knew that I wanted more. I wanted the financial freedom. I didn't want to have to feel like money controlled me. And that was something that I was really passionate about. I remember one of my first vision boards when I first started coaching, I had buy fresh fruit and veggies every week. That was my goal. It wasn't buy an RV, buy a truck, anything like that. It was I want to have fresh fruit and veggies because I was a canned fruit and veggies gal because it was less expensive. And just those little things, people connect with that. So that's what I have to say. Moving on. So coaching paths. Everyone's different and I don't think there's no right path. It just depends on you and the season of life that you're in. So number one, I'm a business builder. My goal was to replace or build my full-time income. I didn't start off like that. Like I said, I just started for myself and then I started for the discount. I wanted the 25% off. And eventually I was like, you know what? I want this to be my full-time business. So I moved over to that. 2 is a hobby coach. This is someone where basically you want a little bit of extra money, but you're not looking to build a huge business. And there's nothing wrong with that. You pay for your own supplements and you have a little bit of spending money on the side. I think a lot of people that like moms, for example, they want to be able to provide like their own income, even if they're like home with the kids or they're working a corporate job or whatever it is. They want their own money. And I think that's really important in any relationship to have your own money. And then number 3, a discount coach. This is what I started off as. You get a 25% discount on products and you're here for the accountability. That's it. And I think that's really, there's important things about all of those. But what's important is that you can change paths like I did. Like I started as a discount coach, then I became a hobby coach. I just wanted to pay my electric bill. I just wanted to put some money in my gas tank. And then I became a business builder. And this is my full-time job. So I think it's really important to know where you want to start out and maybe what'll happen in the future and to know that it's okay that if it changes. So, but I don't know where to start. You're like, girlfriend, this is great. I'm glad you got your shit together, but like, where do you even start with all this? And I am a type A, like I said, I'm a list-loving gal. So I made a little list here. Number 1, you get started on your own journey. If you saw anything about my journey, I started working on me first because there was no way in hell I could pour into anyone else until I had started filling my own cup. And I think that's really important. You need to fall in love with the workouts. You need to find the workouts that make you feel empowered and like a badass. And I want you to really have that conviction behind it where you're like, this has changed my life. And it could be just a small thing, like you have more energy, or it could be a big thing, like now you have a passion, you know? Number 2, I'm going to plug you into New Coach Mentorship. This is where I'm going to teach you everything about building a business online, how to find people, how to not have to nag your family and friends, but instead build an online presence where you're coming in and you're creating a brand and helping people online as well. Number 3, we're going to set up a one-on-one call to talk your questions. Like I said, I'm an open book and I'm going to open up the floor if you guys have any questions after this. And we're just going to talk through them and talk your goals and make a game plan for you. I'm a very action-oriented person, so we're going to put a step-by-step game plan of how you can achieve your goals, whether it is just something small or something huge. And number 4, I want you to lean into the community. That's the biggest thing. I feel like there's been so many ups and downs in my business, but because I've had the community to lean onto, that's what's really held me there. And then lean into your crazy journey. No one's journey is linear. Like think of your physical journey with your body. No one like drops 50 pounds. It's like your trial and error. You're learning about yourself. What doesn't work? What does work? What causes you to go into a spiral? And eventually you're going to start learning more and more about yourself so you can continue on and continually improve. So your journey is going to look a lot more like this than this, you know? So I'm going to leave you with a few things. Personally, I could not live with the what if. I'm not the type of person that goes, what if I would have tried? What if I would have done this? There's a saying that goes, I'd rather ask for an apology than ask for permission. That's kind of me. Like, I'd much rather be like, well, at least I tried, you know? And I don't want to live with the what if. I don't want to be old and be finally retiring and be like, geez, what if I would have given that a chance, you know? Or do you want to give your dreams a chance? I think so many people have this inkling. They don't know what they want. Because to be honest, when I started, I didn't know that I wanted all these things. I was just like, I want to feel okay. Not even happy, you guys. That's the point I was at. I was like, I just want to not be struggling with these thoughts. I just want to feel mediocre, nothing. And once I started to climb out of this dark pit, I was able to grow and want more than just fresh vegetables and fruit. Like, I wanted more for myself and my life. And that's kind of where I'm at, because I gave my dreams a chance. When they started as little baby dreams, I let them grow into big dreams. And lastly, I say this to my team every single team call. Do you want this? Do you want this to work? Then go fucking get it. No one is stopping you. You're the only person that can say yes to yourself and yes to your journey and give it a try. And that's what I have. This journey is all about feeling forward, and I'm really, really excited that you guys were on tonight. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to open it up to any questions.